You don't want to be poor, but you're also lazy. Well, my friends, your journey towards wealth is going to be 10 times harder if you keep being lazy. And it's not just that you're less likely to chase after your dream job, because it's hard, right? You need consistency, you need discipline, you need to endure and to work hard. It's not an easy thing to do. But laziness also passively takes thousands of dollars out of your wallet, sometimes without you even noticing. Let's start with this. Coffee is making you poor. Well, not necessarily, but it could be playing a part. Let me explain. Let's say every day you buy a cup of coffee for a minimum of $2.50. It's a simple morning tradition that energizes yourself and kickstarts your day. Nothing out of the ordinary. I myself have a cup of coffee every single morning, and no, before you say it, it's not an addiction, it's called dedication, okay? It's different. $2.50 might seem cheap, but let's see how the cost grows over time. In 1 week, you'd have spent $17.50 on coffee. In a month, that value rises to $70. Over a year, that's $912.50 you've spent. If we take this imaginary scenario even further and say that you took all the money you spent on coffee and invested it in an index fund that tracks the S&P 500, after just 10 years you'd have accumulated over $14,102.06. That's quite a lot for just a daily cup of coffee, isn't it? The point here is we all buy small goods which are individually cheap, but as we consume them on a regular basis, they end up being a lot more hefty on our bank accounts than we initially thought they would be. Does that mean that you should absolutely ditch your morning coffee? No, it doesn't, but it's important to know the consequences of your spendings, especially when there are more financially friendly alternatives. For example, buying instant coffee. You just boil some water, you put the powder in there, and you're done. You have a cup of coffee for a few cents. If you do this daily, you're going to save about $2. And if you don't like the taste of instant coffee, like myself, I just don't like it, you should consider investing into a coffee machine, which, yes, it's initially more expensive and some people don't even have the option of buying it because of the price, but if you do, you're going to have some really tasty coffee for just 50 cents a cup. You're going to spend way less money in the long term. The point here is that, yes, it's absolutely easier to just go to a cafe and order your favorite drink, but it's also more expensive in the long term. So please, stop being lazy and reflect upon the best way for you in specific to spend less money while also keeping doing the things that you love in life. Yes, sure, I am addicted. What are you gonna do about it, huh? Call the police? Sue me? It's also worthy to mention that a study said that 40% of millennials spend more money on coffee than they do on their retirement accounts. That seems a bit irresponsible, right? I gave the example of coffee, but this applies to many other things. Snacks, gum, subscriptions, cigarettes. And this brings me to my next point. Neglecting your savings and investments because it seems like a hassle and because it's too much work. Well, yes, it is, but consider that it's going to be something that greatly benefits you in your life. And second of all, it's only a hassle in the beginning when you have to set everything up. Then you have the option to send a part of your paycheck towards things like savings accounts, emergency funds, investments, even towards your debt. It really becomes easier over time. And then, after you're done, you can still go and use the remaining money on your coffee, your snacks, your gum, your subscriptions, except on cigarettes. Don't you dare buy cigarettes. But see, you really can have it all. All you have to do is stop being lazy and set things up in a system that does most of the hard work for you. And by the way, is your rent due? Or do you have any late bills for water, gas, electricity, perhaps internet? Well, in most cases, the payments are automatically made online. But if you have to manually send the money to pay for the bills and you're late, you should probably stop watching this video and go pay for them the sooner you can, because you are spending way more money than you should. The thing is, landlords and suppliers don't like waiting for their promised money, and they can charge you interest that piles up for each day that you don't send them their money. What you can do is go check your legal agreement with your landlord and suppliers and see what the terms say about late payment penalties. In most cases, there is a grace period for when you miss the payment date, which means that they give you a few extra days for you to send them the payment. Or better yet, Don't be lazy and pay for your bills in time. Better do that so you don't regret it. And have you ever gone shopping with your mom and saw how she would always pay very close attention to those buy two for the price of one sales and to items with 50% discounts? And it ingrains on our minds that products on sale are more cost effective and that we shouldn't miss out on those deals. So we end up more inclined towards buying and spending money. But in reality, we don't even need the products on sale most of the times. We just buy it because it's cheaper. Shops do these discounts, so you end up thinking more about the low cost of the product and not so much about the usefulness and utility of it. So you end up spending unnecessarily. So what does this really have to do with laziness? Well, most of the time, all this unnecessary spending comes from not having a shopping list, which is surprisingly easy to make. All you have to do is go around your home, see what's missing and what you need, and write it down in a piece of paper. As simple as that. So next time you go shopping, bring your list, resist your urges, and only buy what you need. And next time you see a sale, don't be so impulsive. Question yourself. Am I really gonna need this? And while we're on the topic of sales, can we just talk a little bit about the stupidity of the tradition of Black Friday? We got people running each other over just for 30% off a PS5, and it ends up still costing like, how much? $350 approximately? It's not that cheap that it justifies almost crushing a child. Please, let's do better. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you learned something about not spending money unnecessarily and about saving money. And if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. That's all from me today.